So on today's show, we've got a featured guitar, which is going to be a Koa X30 that Mark is going to play for us. We're going to look back on the cottage sessions that we went out on St. Patrick's Day, and a really fantastic session that was. We've got some Q&A where I'm going to talk through some details for you, talk to you about pickups and strings and various other things. But the really exciting thing that we're going to be talking about today is the builder. So before we get there, we're going to start off with Mark Black. Still going.
I know, I love that.
Isn't that sustained? So we're back.
Yes, indeed we are.
Back for another show. So we're kind of out of the loop for, I don't know how many months. Is it 3 months? I think 3 months since we've done one of these.
It's been too long anyway.
It certainly is, yeah. So I guess with lockdown and everything else that's been going on, it's kind of put a little bit of a restriction on what we could do from a marketing point of view and from content point of view, but we've been struggling along.
Exactly. So welcome to the Breaking the Mould show, folks. Here we go again.
Is this how many have we done now? It's been number 5, 6?
I think, Alistair, we're on number 8.
Oh, well, there we are. That just shows how easy it's become.
No.
I think we were getting into a really nice rhythm before Christmas, and I was definitely enjoying doing it. It was a nice way to kind of get some stories out. And
we wrapped up the year last year with the kind of the wrap up of the year and the last podcast at the time before this one. So it's good to get back. But I think we're going to do this one monthly going forward as a show. Which
I think it was nice to do it weekly, kind of to kick it off. And I suppose we had a lot of stories to tell, and we were kind of catching up on things. Ongoing, maybe monthly fits better.
Yeah,
and probably fits better just time wise. It's a fair commitment every week to try and fit it in. So
there's a lot of pulling in Alistair camp going from left to right all over, and there's a lot of stuff going on at the factory at the moment. Stuff and a lot of rebuilding, I guess, and which is very exciting in a lot of ways. And so people are busy.
It is hard to fit in time. I just came straight from a 16th birthday party, so happy birthday to my Zara, my third. She's 16 today, so
happy birthday, Zara!
Big shout out to Zara. So we had a nice little lunchtime birthday, and we'll be doing a little bit more this evening. So so that's what the red cup's for. And
it's only like 7-Up or something you've got.
No, it's we haven't got that far of the party yet. It's we're in Fanta right now.
Yeah. It's the early stages yet, folks. It's the early stages yet. So a lot of stuff's been happening, Alistair, since we were last here. It's been an eventful few months, really.
It has been a very eventful few months. I mean, we started off at the beginning of the year. I think it was maybe the 5th of January. I remember us having a marketing meeting. Sales and marketing team meeting, and we started talking about all the plans for the year. And I remember us talking about how lockdowns were behind us. There's going to be no more of that, and everything's going in the right direction. So many plans for this year. And then I think it was the following day, or maybe it was even that evening, they started to announce that there was going to be another lockdown.
Yeah.
So that was, to be honest, a little bit devastating.
Yeah.
You know, when you start at the very beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden all that is out the window. We didn't quite know what that was going to look like, but we've come through. We've been able to do a significant amount of work in the meantime. We've been clearing up a lot of custom work and getting through some back orders, and now we're back into full production again, which is great. We still have some restrictions that we're having to deal with. That's restricting us and creating content things.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, we were able to focus on a lot of different ways, and focus on the new website, the new builder, and a whole bunch of other things that are going to continue to play out in the coming months.
Those are some exciting topics just right there. Now we're going to get into those pretty soon. Yeah, no, and it's just even listening currently to the news and stuff at the moment that's going on, they're talking about lifting some of those restrictions, so it won't be too long before we get back to some kind of normality here again, I'm sure. And it'd be good to see. Good to be able to travel beyond the 5K again, and maybe see a beach.
And I think probably for some people around the world, it'll be, what are you talking about, 5K? But yeah, we've had a pretty heavy duty lockdown here, so it's been a 5 kilometer restriction on how far you could travel, which is sometimes hard to take. But I think the good thing is at the start of the year, you were kind of looking into this pretty dark place, but now I think we're starting to look forward with a lot more optimism. You can see things definitely going the right way. The rollout of the vaccines, and we even hearing some music festivals talking about maybe hoping to have some live music this summer. And
yeah.
So
I know that Stephen over there in the stockroom was telling me from Ports Band was saying that they're booked for Stendhal in Limavady in the summertime in August. So that's not that long away, and that's very promising for the music scene if it's coming together like that. Fingers crossed and touch wood.
I don't know, an awful lot is still being cancelled, but I think what's going to happen is as things do improve and as things start to open up, music is just going to happen spontaneously. There'll be festivals organised at 2 days' notice, and it'll just happen. So I think that's going to be kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to those sort of things.
Yeah, and there'll be plenty of backyard gigs, I'm sure, going on and different things because people have just had enough of it. And
I hope we can have one here. That's at some stage this year. Don't know what it'll look like, but there's going to be some live music happening here with an audience.
The brighter days are coming. The brighter days are coming, folks.
Absolutely.
That's a cracking X30, Alistair. That we've opened the show with today.
That's a beauty. That's Koa. A beautiful piece of Koa, and Koa on an X30. And actually, in this room, you just really can hear the sustain and the fullness of that X30, the big jumbo body.
Yeah,
really, really nice.
It's a beautiful piece, right at the stock there. So there you go, folks. Keep an eye out.
I bet it'll be sold before this actually airs.
I would say so. I might be away with it myself.
we don't have a lot of stock guitars at the moment. As anybody that follows our website will know, there's not a lot of stock on there, but that one is.
This one's got the new. Of course, now we've got the new bridge across most of all the range now too as well. So it's great, and it's been very well received.
Yeah, those new the carbon fiber bridges are actually something I'm really proud of. We changed the direction on that. We used to mould the bridge along with the rest of the guitar, and now we've moved to a very different system where we actually machine that bridge out of a solid block of carbon fiber, and we've a new CNC milling machine in there that does a fantastic job with that, and we laminate a billet of carbon fiber, and there's probably 30, maybe 40 layers of carbon fiber. And then it's all machined down into that shape. And it's incredibly strong. And it gives a beautiful look. I love the layering. It gives this kind of almost like a wood grain effect. But there's something a little bit different about it as well. And then it's polished to like a satin finish, and it just contrasts very nicely with the wood veneers. And then it's pinless as well. So we've done away with bridge pins right across our entire range of guitars. And as soon as we did that, then we have people asking, why can't we get bridge pins? We still want a pin bridge. And whenever we were doing pins, people were asking for the pinless. Yeah. But no, I believe very strongly in that pinless design. It transfers the energy into the top in the same way as a pin bridge does. Structurally, it works really well. And once you get the hang of how to string that guitar, it's way easier than using pins.
Yeah, and it's not a big jump either. It's a little bit of, but once you get one or two strings in, it's relatively easy after that. I haven't really used many pinless bridges, but I found after 5 minutes I had a hang of it. It wasn't anything too taxing on me at all. So
yeah, I think what I'm going to do actually, maybe today is when we should do this. We'll go and do a little video of just how to string that, and we'll enter that, and we'll maybe put it at the end of this video or insert it in here somewhere.
There's been a few folks asking about it, so I think a little a little instructional video would be handy enough for that there, and I'm sure they'd appreciate it out there. It'd be handy to do.
Yeah, because once you get the hang of it, it really is. It's nothing to be scared of.
So the easiest way to put the string into the pinless bridge is to just bend the string like this, just a little bit. Put it in, and then it catches underneath. You then bring the string up about 1.5 inches past the post, and you cut it. You keep the tension on the string, and you put it onto the post. All the while keeping the tension on the string. And that's it.
And I think the new bridge design and the look of the new bridge has given the guitars a real unique look, and given them it's a real stamp of emerald on them as well too. You're not going to get a bridge design like that anywhere else.
So you think our guitars weren't unique looking before?
Sorry.
Yeah,
totally unique.
Yeah, we've always had a lot of unique features, but it's definitely something that I don't think anybody else is making a bridge out of solid carbon. So we're proud to be able to
nice
premiere something like that.
So 12 months of lockdown and coronavirus and one thing and another, Alistair, and I guess when you think back a month ago, we've done a few cottage sessions, and not so long ago, I'm going to revisit the cottage sessions that we had there back in March, because 12 months ago when we got locked down, it was around St. Patrick's Day, and here we are just past that 12 months point again, and we put together a great show for St. Patrick's Day, which we're going to talk a little bit about, folks, and just any of you that have seen it, and great, and any of you that haven't, you should be in for a treat if you check out some of the links to the show, but it was a great day.
That was a good one. I was just actually thinking about it after that day, that last St. Patrick's Day, I was actually in quarantine because I had just come back from Florida. Last time I've been out of the country, we come back from Florida just around about the time everything was locking down. So then we went into we just voluntarily decided it would be safer to go into quarantine for a week, and so I lived in the apartment for a week. Not the worst place in the world to be stuck, but that was over St. Patrick's Day, so I was up in there by myself, dancing around Irish music, having my own little St. Patrick's party.
Your own wee St. Patrick's Day parade in the apartment.
So this one, I think, like Ireland and St. Patrick's Day and music, and maybe drinking, can all go hand in hand. But certainly the music side of things we want to highlight, and it is something we're incredibly proud of as Irish people and Irish musicians, just how our music has spread around the world. Yeah. So we couldn't really let the day pass without doing something.
No, and it was great to be involved, because this year in Ireland they had a great St. Patrick's Day festival overall, and everything was obviously broadcast online everywhere, so there was a lot of stuff from our main networks like the television networks, etc., and all those, and there we are in the middle of it as all, getting our piece out as well too. And there'd been some amazing concerts throughout the day on St. Patrick's Day, and it was very, very glad we were able to take part in that entire celebration and to show the music from here here in Emerald and at the Emerald Cottage. And what a lineup we had that day! It was some fantastic music being played, and including yourself. Yourself and Davey had a wee go at a few. It was good fun, and enjoyed it too. It was great. Yeah.
So I think, and I will say, not just because you're sitting across from me, but I think my favourite song from the day was you and Davey doing Homes of Donegal.
Oh, thank you.
And I think there's just a lot wrapped up in that piece. It kind of connected back to the lockdown through the Weisenborn that you were playing on it.
That's right. Yeah.
So there was that strong connection, because that was a lockdown project that I did last year, and to see that being played, and Homes of Donegal. I mean, it's such an iconic Irish song.
I know it was very special for the day itself that was in it. Like, when you prepped it, when you got the lap steel ready for actual play and use there just after Christmas, and I'd been dabbling on it a little bit at home for a month or two, and I thought to myself, coming up to St. Patrick's Day, it's a great way of showcasing this new instrument in the cottage with a song that's home to the Donegal for us, and kind of brings everything full circle a little bit. And I'd spent a few late evenings into trying to get the slide part right. I hadn't heard it done on the slide before, so there was nothing I could take example from. But at the same time, the song itself is just a beautiful melody, and I came in with the intention of playing it on my own. And when Davey had kind of finished his recording his set at the time, so he said, would you like some backing on it, Mark? Of course. Just made life a whole lot easier. And as soon as he sat down, we had a quick 5-minute rehearsal. We'll run over it a few times, and then just let the cameras run, and away we went. And I still get a bit of stick for not even managing to fix my hair and hat on properly from Sabrina, saying you got up there and jumped in front of the camera without taking the time to fix yourself. But I think the music maybe spoke for itself.
No, it was a fantastic piece, and you intend to maybe do a little bit more with that song.
Yeah, we're going to expand that a little bit and do it for a nice piece for release here, and hopefully over the next month or two you'll see something coming out into the Emerald socials. Keep an eye out for it, folks. And Homes of Donegal done on our new Weisenborn.
Another highlight I think was Cian and Trudy, and I snuck in there to see that live, and Trudy playing the flute. It filled the cottage.
Yeah, and you could hear it outside that day. It was a nice spring day, and the recording from outside, and that the whistle and the flute were ringing around the area out there. It was gorgeous. Even Kim came in as well to have a listen, and she was grabbing the phone to get a shot for the Instagram. Yeah.
No, it was fantastic. So we were able to put that together over a few days or a week running up to that, and so it's nice to be able to still create some content and put that out there. But yeah, it's definitely whet my appetite to get some little live concerts happening in that space.
Yeah, watch this space again too, folks.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, we have a wee highlight or two reel. We're going to just throw play for you, folks, so you can check out a little bit of the cottage sessions and take a look at this little highlight reel. And if you want to see any more, just jump on over to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe over there, because all our long form content's going on out there. But you can also find the full cottage session on there live from St. Patrick's Day. And here we go. We'll run this one just for you guys.
To the man on the reel and a drop and a swing to the girly love. May your fiddles playing, but you hear your company above. Mama, when you say you don't love me, well, that's where I'm gonna need my help someday. I don't need no TV nor convenience store, just me and that wild western Atlantic road.
And there we go. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Love that. So that's the cottage sessions, folks. Don't forget, it's available on our YouTube channel on Emerald Guitars. So head on over there, subscribe if you can, and you'll get all notifications of anything coming up over the next wee while. And hope you enjoy the show. There you go. So that's the cottage sessions, and hopefully Alistair will get some more live music coming out of the cottage fairly soon.
I'm sure we will. It's definitely part of the plan. So what else have you got there on your notes?
Well, to be honest, there was a few questions that had come in, and although we have handled some of these over on our socials and some of the stories over the past few weeks, but just in case anybody missed them, I'm going to just have a wee recap of a few questions some of the viewers have been sending in to us. So, good question here. Alistair, can steel strings be used on a nylon string guitar and vice versa?
Right. So this is a good one actually, and it's something we get asked a lot. So when we do an X20 nylon guitar, that's not just a standard X20. We modify the laminate in the top, so it's made an awful lot lighter to be able to be responsive enough with nylon strings. So nylon strings exert an awful lot less pressure on the top of a guitar than steel string does, and really, if you can transfer between one and the other, but you're always going to compromise in some way. So there's if you were to go from a nylon guitar and put steel strings on it, that's really what you don't want to do. A nylon guitar is designed for about a third of the tension of a steel string guitar. Okay. So if you start and put steel strings on there, it may be okay, but it may pull apart. Uh-huh. You know, they always talk about the best acoustic guitar is the one that's just on the point of implosion. You know, so they walk a bit of a fine balance. So you really don't want to put steel strings on a nylon design guitar. Mm-hmm. You can put nylon strings onto a steel guitar. You will get a pretty good sound, but you won't get a great sound. Mm. It just won't be quite as responsive because there won't be enough tension in the top to really drive that top. And I suppose it's a little bit the same whenever you go to very light gauge steel strings on a steel string guitar. You know, most of our guitars are designed for 12 to 53 is kind of our in between that we use across the board on like our X20. And if you drop right down to 10s, there's just not enough energy going into the top to really drive that top. So yes, it might be a lot easier to play, but you're always gonna have a compromise. So, you know, there's always compromises, but it just depends on what you're aiming for.
Okay, very good. Hope that answers the question, folks. Thank you. Can you refret an emerald?
You can. I don't know that we ever have. I've never seen a guitar coming back with the frets so badly worn that they needed to be refretted. I've seen some that have been worn and needed to be dressed again. But we've been using stainless steel right from the very start.
Yeah, okay. So stainless steel is a harder. Normally, nickel would be what traditionally what you would use in a guitars, which is like slightly softer and wears out.
Yeah, like nickel frets are the default standard across the board on most guitar builders. I can't say just off the top of my head how much, you know, as a percentage stronger or harder stainless is than nickel, but it's a lot. You know, I've seen people wear out a set of nickel frets in 6 months.
Yeah,
I don't know. You maybe done that yourself.
I have. It's expensive.
Yeah, you know, so you got to take a visit up there to Fitz and get some frets in.
That's right.
But no, the stainless steel is just so much better. And I suppose right from the very start, I thought, well, if we're building a guitar from carbon fiber and it's so much stronger and longer lasting, then we should also put frets in that match that. They're a little bit harder for us to work with. But they're just so much better long term. Yeah. If somebody wanted to change frets, or maybe wanted to change to a different size of frets or something for whatever reason, they can be taken out. Our frets are glued in. They're bonded in place. So whenever you heat up the frets to a specific temperature, that glue will melt and the frets will come out. So it's something that is very achievable, but needs to be done carefully. Yeah. And probably if you want to do that, give us a call and we could help you walk through that process. Yeah, give us a shout back about that one, folks, if you intend to refret your emerald. And we'll give you some tips and advice, possibly based on it. Okay, cool. Typically at the moment, Alistair, how long is a build taking at the moment? Right now we're quoting 2 months. Okay. Now, I will say that there's probably some people who have been waiting much more than 2 months on some of their builds, and they're going, well, how can it be a 2-month build and I've been waiting 4 or 6, or some of you are waiting a little bit longer. Yeah. So some custom projects have been taking a lot longer. I'm on a push now to clear out all our custom backlog, and that's probably going to be completed in about 4 to 5 weeks. So anything that's custom, if you're waiting on a guitar, everything that's on order right now is going to be cleared out of here in 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah. And there's been some logistic issues with
parts and various things like that also that have caused delays, which is unexpected, so.
Yeah, and really in the past 12 months, we've lost nearly 4 months of production. So we've been playing catch up on that. But we've been expanding our team, expanding our equipment and our workspace, and we're going to be quoting 2 months from here.
Yeah, there's exciting things happening in the factory, folks, so stay tuned. Okay, a question that came up before, and we'll just, it came up again, so they probably missed the answer the first time round in relation to that. And if you do refer back to one of our earlier podcasts, probably the first or second one, you'll find the answer in there also. But where did the logo and Mascot come from?
So the logo was designed, I think, at the end of 1999 by Mark Willett.
Yeah.
And we were looking for a design that would express our Celtic heritage, and something that had a nice modern look, and something that would just really be a bit of an icon. You could really remember it and stand out. Mm-hmm. So we started looking at the Book of Kells, and we came across various designs in that. So the origins of our logo actually came out of the Book of Kells, and then it was a modern variation of that design. So we just refined it and took it to a new direction.
That's it, and that's Rufus.
That's Rufus, we've called it, and it hasn't been altered since it was created way back then, and it's been fantastic for us. So.
Cool.
Yep.
Very good. Okay. Are you guys offering any payment plans at the moment?
That's something we're actually working on. So we would love to be able to offer proper finance packages to our customers. The biggest difficulty we have is the fact that we're an Irish company and most of our customers are in the USA. So that limits our access to being able to give proper finance, like through PayPal finance or other finance packages. That's something we're working on. We may have a solution for that later in the year, but not now. What we do currently is, as you place an order for a guitar, you can pay a 50% deposit on a custom order, and then pay the balance then on completion. Mm-hmm. We can split that down a little bit further into smaller payments if somebody wants to do that, but so we can do that, and it's just a matter of contacting us, and we'll work away.
Yeah, folks, get in touch with Davey on kev@sales@emerald.com. If you've got any questions, and emeraldguitars.com. It's just if you've got any questions in relation to getting your hands on an emerald, and anything those guys will help you out with. I think they're great on the sales side, so they'll help you with any queries you have. And one final question, Alistair, and this one's come up a little bit over the past few months, and I've noticed it coming in. And what type of pickups is best recommended for fingerstyle on fingerstyle player? Okay,
so I probably should talk a little bit about all our different pickups. So we've changed the range of pickups that we're offering now. If you go into our builder and into our new website, you'll find all the details on the pickups in there. And we initially had been only offering the LR bag systems, and we're still offering the LR bags element, which is a really nice under-saddle piezo pickup. It's got an end-pin preamp and a volume and tone control in the sound hole. Mm-hmm. So it's a really nice, simple, really discreet pickup system. And then we've added in a new suite of pickups that have been derived really from our X10. We've been using the Graphtec systems in our X10 for the last few years, and I really love it. I know you really enjoy the pickup systems as well.
I do, yeah. I like the Graphtec one for sure,
Yeah. So we've been developing that, and in conjunction with our new fully adjustable and intonatable bridge. Mm-hmm. So that bridge has 6 Graphtec piezo pickups in it, and that's fantastic in that it gives really great clarity and separation from each note. Also a really good balance, so they have a very even output on them. So it's a really good system that way. But the question about fingerstyle, what we've done to cater for that is we've made a combo system that uses the Graphtec in conjunction with a K&K system. Okay. So you got 3 K&K pure mini contact pickups that are in underneath the soundboard. And then they can be blended back and forward. So you have 2 volume controls based in the sound hole, and you can just blend them in as much as you want. You can also separate them out because you've got a choice of a stereo or mono output. So you can put a stereo cord in there and split them, and do some interesting things with it. So it's a very flexible system, or very simple if you just stick a mono cord in there. But that'll give you get the fullness that you get from the piezos and stability. Yeah. But then you can build in as much of the body sound as you want with the K&Ks. So I think that to me is probably the right one for fingerstyle.
For fingerstyle, yeah, and it's good to get through those. As I say, we have had questions about pickups recently, and it's good to kind of have a little bit of just a run over, recap over some of those. A lot of the pickups may all have their own little traits and all their own little. Some sound better in certain situations than others, I guess. So depending on the style of music and the genre of music you're playing, or the particular type of style that you play on guitar, any of those pickups might be more suited to your needs. Now, of course, if you wanted to see what those pickups look like on a guitar and you hadn't built your guitar yet, something very interesting has happened in Emerald over the past little while, and it's probably a huge development in terms of design for us.
It is a huge development, and I wouldn't say a little while.
No,
it's been going on for quite a long while.
Yeah.
Our website has been something we've been working continually on for a long time, and we've been talking about it for a very long time, and finally we've managed to get the time to put it through. Yeah. So whenever we were developing the new website, we came up with the idea that we wanted to have a 3D builder in there. And we managed to find the right people to partner with to create that. And I have to say, it's just way, way, way beyond what my initial expectation was.
Yeah, it's a game changer, this one.
a total game changer. Yeah. And the motivation behind it was, we don't sell in stores, but I wanted to give a way that people could really see and experience the guitars. And, on forums and on Facebook, discussion and stuff, there's regularly comments about photographs and color, and is that a true representation of the guitar, and depending on the angle of the light, or colors change, and it's hard to capture in a photograph. So we kind of set out to find a way that would really capture how the light reflects of the guitars, how the shape, how you would see the shapes, and that's why we've created an entire 3D builder that shows you reflections and shapes and contours, and it's not just a straight graphic. It's something way more immersive.
It's
so
reality. It brings you into reality.
Yeah. So as you walk around the guitar, which you do with your mouse, you see it, and you see the light interact with it the way the light in the cottage would if you were actually in the cottage looking at it.
Yeah. So, folks, if you haven't checked out the builder, we're gonna do a little bit of a run through for it with you now. But go onto the website emeraldguitars.com, and in there you'll find the builder link, and jump on in there and have a little bit of a play around in design. And we're gonna have a little bit of a play around design here now and see what we can come up with ourselves, and just talk you through it a little bit as we're doing it. So, cue the 3D builder.
So what I was thinking would be kind of cool to do is we'll just take a walk through the builder, and we can talk about just how you access it and use it. And I thought maybe the two of us will build two guitars, and we'll compare and see what we come up with each.
Excellent.
So I've started here from the home page. So if you go onto the home page,
okay,
and what you're going to find in our website is you can explore all the different models. So if you want to specifically find the builder, there is a tab for the 3D builder, but you can also find it from within the models page. So if you go into each model, there's a tab of where you can find the builder, and not all the builders are there. Not every model is fully ready on the builder yet, but they will be very soon. So that's not far out. So if we go to 3D Guitar Builder landing page, and when you go into that page, you're going to see a little video of me that gives you a little bit of information of how to actually walk through it. And you can watch that again, or if you've watched this, you'll not need to watch it again. And then you'll see all the different models here, and all the ones that are available in the builder are shown here.
Okay.
And so, Mark, you choose a model, and I'll choose a model. And,
okay, so I'm gonna go for an X2012 down here, and on the bottom left.
You would go for a 12-string.
I would go for a 12-string. Yeah, just gonna.
And I'm gonna go for a Kestrel, just because I think it's possibly the most beautiful guitar on our range. If you're allowed to say that about your kids, are you allowed to pick out the most beautiful kid?
Just make sure that the X20 is not listening.
So it will take a few seconds to open up. What it's actually doing is loading all the graphics and everything. So once it's loaded, you have access then to all the different options without any delay. But
Okay.
the first few seconds is definitely worth the wait.
Yeah.
So once you get in there, what you're actually looking at is a 3D model of the Emerald Cottage. So that's the venue that we have all our live sets from. That's where the St. Patrick's Day session came from. And you can just click and drag. If you're using an iPad or something like that, you can literally just drag it back and forward on your
Okay.
with your finger.
So this moves full 360 for me, no problem at all, right?
Moves full 360, and we're using it here on Macs, but actually works great on a phone as well.
Yeah.
What you can do as well if you're on a desktop here is you can go to full screen mode. So if you click on the full screen mode, that will bring you into just a bigger representation. Get that word out of the guitar, and you can kind of see it a little bit better.
Very nice.
So that's the space, and what I love about it is, as I mentioned earlier, it's just how you see all the reflections, and it's just very true to what you would see if you had the real guitar there. And we debated this back and forward when we were designing it. I know we all had discussions about whether those reflections were distracting. Sometimes they do get in the way of seeing the carbon fiber weave or seeing the veneer. But the reality is that that's exactly what light does on the guitars, So we wanted it to be real. If you look at one of our guitars straight on in natural light, you might see a reflection that might hide the carbon fiber weave. But then you hit the right angle and it just pops.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was really good and important to have that be like that. So starting point is choosing your carbon fiber type. So up until now, we've really only been offering black carbon fiber, and we offered it with the 5 different colors.
Okay.
So that's it's a black carbon fiber weave. You put a transparent color over the top, and you get a nice color, but it's a darker, subdued color. What we've started doing recently is we do this vibrant weave, and that's a fiber that's been coated with silver.
Yeah.
And it's very bright, and whenever you add a color on top of that, it just really pops. So it's much, much brighter.
Yeah, it makes the edges, it really defines the edges, and it can have a darker, defines the lines around the edges. I put a lovely vibrant weave on here at the moment, and it shows amber on it, and it's really quite a striking guitar before I've even added a veneer top.
Yeah, they really stand out. So I've got a bright green, vibrant weave Kestrel, and we could stop just right there. Actually, we were talking about this morning. I wonder how hard it'll be for somebody to go into the builder and stop at the very first choice of the black straight carbon fiber. And that's been our default for many years. The black carbon fiber, it's the truest form of the guitars, but there's a lot of nice options in here that might be hard to resist.
Yes.
So right, so the first thing we do obviously is select our veneer, and we can actually bounce back and forward and change that. We don't have to design or stick with our design at this point. So the next stage then is the veneers.
Okay.
So if we want to add a veneer, what we've done is we've given 16 choices of veneers right in the website. We do have others as well in the Veneer Library, and if we look down at the bottom here, there is a link to the Veneer Library, but we'll get back to that in a minute. So all those veneers that are there, they're a graphic representation of the veneer. So it's a photograph of a real piece of Macassar ebony or candy stripe Padauk, but it's not the actual piece that you're going to get. So it gives you an idea of. I'm just clicking on Koa here, so it gives you an idea of what Koa looks like on a Kestrel archtop. Now I've got a Koa with a vibrant green back and sides. not quite sure I'm going to go with that, but hey, it's
It's a little bit Incredible Hulk, is it?
it's not to my taste.
Right. Okay.
But that's the cool thing, because once you put a veneer on, then you can jump right back and go back into the carbon. So
So some of these veneers, for example, quilted maple, have an option of colors. Then when you go to choose like quilted maple, for example, and notice there's a pop up of there's red, green, blue, natural, and then the very vintage amber is very popular.
yeah,
Probably you guys may have seen a lot of vintage amber quilted maple guitars out there that we do. It's very striking.
yeah. So not every guitar has a color option, or sorry, not every veneer has a color option. But the ones that we feel are good candidates to put a color over, we've given you the color options there. And so I've just popped some vintage amber quilted maple onto the top of a Kestrel arch top here, and that's pretty nice. That's really nice.
Very nice.
And this is where it's fun, because you can go back and forward. And so I've got it right now here with the black carbon that has the red fiber through it. Okay. And you can zoom right in there, and you can kind of get a feel for what the top is going to look like in conjunction with that fiber. And that's it. The ones with the fiber through them it's quite a subtle finish. Whenever you zoom right in, you can see that quite clearly. And it's nice. If you like a more subtle finish, it'll give you a nice little color variant without it being too strong.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the veneers. So once you've chosen your veneer, and let me see, I'm going to go back to Powell Ferrell, and once you go down to the very bottom, if you decide that you want a Powell Ferrell guitar, then you want to see in the Veneer Library. Actually, no, I'm going to choose Royal Ebony because I know there's a good selection. So if we go into the Veneer Library, what we have here is we have photographs of every single piece of veneer that we have in our stock.
Okay.
So let's just open that up.
And as a customer, I can get to go in and choose the actual piece of veneer, or to book the actual piece of veneer that I want on my guitar at this point.
Yeah, so I suppose I would like the whole experience to be very personal, and I like the idea that somebody can buy the actual guitar, that they're buying the actual piece of wood rather than just buying a species. And I think it's probably quite common that you just you choose a species, and then you're kind of trusting the manufacturer to choose the right piece of veneer for you, but or wood. So here in the Royal Ebony gallery, you can see there's a lot of different pieces of Royal Ebony veneer, and you can just go down and you can find the different ones, and it's like every one is an abstract painting. Wow, that's I'm just looking here at REB 00025, and it's just got such a cool pattern. It almost looks like it's been designed with a ruler or something. It's very jagged. It's all these little straight lines, which is just quite incredible to think it's created by nature. So, okay, if I fall in love with that piece, all I need to do is note that number, and then I'll use that later on in the whole process. Okay. Oh, actually, what I've noticed is I can't use that piece because it says in the bottom, suitable for X20, X10, X7, and Amicus, and I'm building a Kestrel, so that means that piece is not actually big enough for a Kestrel, because the Kestrel's wider, whereas the piece beside it here. So on every piece, it tells you what they're big enough for. So so you can scroll on down, and so I'm going to go with REB 00031. Really nice piece.
And sometimes I know that we get questions or we get queries as to what an actual raw piece of veneer looks like on a finished guitar, and if you keep an eye out on our some of our Instagram and our Facebook socials over the next few weeks, guys, we are showing some before and after pictures, so you should be able to kind of reference some of those back to this this podcast, and maybe take a look at what a raw piece of veneer and how it ends up like when it actually hits but it's on a finished guitar, so it'll just give you a little point of reference how it changes.
Yeah, and we've done our best to make the colors that are on the builder is near to what a finished guitar is going to look like. Obviously, it depends on your screen. Every screen is going to look a little bit different and can change the colors and stuff. So always be aware of that. But another great place to see finished guitars is actually in our gallery.
Okay.
If you go into the gallery section on our website, we're going to start loading images of every guitar we finish in there. So that's going to become an archive of all emeralds.
Okay.
And that's a great place to go and see a finished emerald and royal ebony, and that'll give you a good idea of the colors, because definitely some of the veneers do change more than others, from the natural wood veneer to the finished guitar. So anyway, once we've selected the piece that we want, we can go back into the builder and finish building the guitar. But once you've noted down that number, you can use that then later on in the checkout process. So once we've got our veneer chosen, so then we go over and we start looking at the pickup options. And we've got various different pickup options here. Now I'm looking at a Kestrel, so it doesn't have the same changes as what you have. And you have an X2012, so you're not going to get all the pickup option changes.
So I'm going to actually go back and change it to an X10, because I know it's got the full spec of pickups. So I'm going to change that option to an X10. And just so we can take a look at the pickups as well, and talk folks through that a little bit, because there's quite a choice out there and quite a availability in some of the models at the moment.
Yeah, and what we've done is when you select the different pickup, it's going to change all the components on the guitar. So here I'm on the Kestrel, and depending on what I select, it's going to change those components. So it gives you a really good visual representation of what's going on. Also, you'll see the little eye icon, and if you hover over that, that's actually going to give you information of what is in that pickup system as well. So it's just a little bit more information on there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 6 different pickup systems in the Kestrel archtop. Well, 5 pickup systems and 1 option for no pickup. So we start as default without a pickup. But we've got the Ghost Piezo, a Crevo humbucker. So Ghost Piezo is only just that Ghost Piezo that's built into the floating bridge. You got Crevo humbucker, and then it changes to just having the Crevo humbucker at the end of the neck. You can have both together, the humbucker and.
I'm going to spec this X10 right out with the Ghost, the Crevo, and the MIDI system.
See, and I can do pretty much exactly the same here on a Kestrel.
Wow.
Because we've started doing a Kestrel with the piezo bridge, the Crevo, and the MIDI, and all the controls nicely on the top there. Mm-hmm. So that's a new one for us. We haven't been offering that before, but that's a really, really cool pickup system.
Very nice.
So you'll see those controls. Obviously, it's very obvious. But if you go on the other ones and they have sound hole controls, if you zoom in on the sound holes, the pickups will be in the sound hole. So trust what you see. What you see is what you'll get. And we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that all those little changes in spec and detail. I can't even tell you how long that took to put together a spreadsheet of all the different options and the visuals.
It was tennis over and back for a while.
It absolutely was.
Yeah, I notice on the pickup options as well, folks. If there's a little eye icon, you can hover it over. It gives you some more information, just a little bit, but it's a bit of a drop down menu as to what exactly it gives you a bit more detail on the pickup, even just a line or two there.
Yeah, that's very useful. So are we?
Very nice.
Have we settled on a pickup system?
I have spec'd my pickups here now, and I'm about to start looking at hardware color, I believe.
Okay, so I'm fully loading this Kestrel here.
That's the way to do it.
So, on the Kestrel with the Shirtler tuners, we don't get as much of a color change. It doesn't change the buttons, but it certainly does change a little bit. And it doesn't just change the tuners, it also changes the strap button.
Yes.
And so we've started offering gold, chrome, and black strap buttons. So it'll change. And in this case, actually, where it's got the knobs on the front, it's also going to change the color of the knobs.
Very cool.
So after we select the hardware, then we get into the inlay design. So we've created 5 standardized inlay designs, and we put them all on there, and you've got 3 different color options. And what I'll tell you just a little bit about how we do our inlays. It's a process we've kind of refined over the last couple of years, and we're doing it using CNC to cut cavities into our carbon fiber. It had been quite a difficult material for us to find a good way to do inlay, and then we've managed to just find a good process for doing it. Carbon fiber is quite hard to cut, and it was a bit of a challenge cutting the carbon fiber fretboards and getting a really nice clean line. But we've managed to get the right combination of machinery and cutters, the bits that we use for cutting, and we've got it down to a nice process now. And then we use resins and metal powders combined, and we fill in those cavities. So the silver is it's a resin with actually aluminium powder. The gold is a resin with a brass powder, and then the white is a white resin. And so they give a really nice look. And actually, if we go into one, I'm going to go in here to the Celtic vines on the gold, and if you zoom right in, you can. Let me get the right angle. So, but if you zoom right in and you move, you actually see the light reflects off it. So, so it's got a little bit of a shimmer. It's not it's quite a nice gold, and you've got the silver then that contrasts with it on the little figure of 8 on the 12th fret there. So that's the process of how we do our inlays.
Very nice.
And it was a bit of a challenge to find a good solution on how to do them on our guitars, just because of our manufacturing process is a little bit different than tradition. And I wanted to keep it a little bit different than tradition.
Yeah.
I like to find our own way of doing things. But they've been very well received, and really add something nice to it. So
I've got a lovely Trinity knot now, right down the middle of my fret, or in the fretboard, and it's really nice. So it's a nice choice.
So I'm looking at Royal Ebony with black carbon, and I'm trying to work out between gold, and maybe the gold is just maybe a little bit too much gold for me. And I'm looking at the silver here now. So I think the silver works nicely with the black carbon back and sides, and it has that little bit of gold in the 12th fret, and it just pops with the top. And this is a great thing, you get to see different options. And actually, we've been using it here at work. As we've been designing guitars that we're building for stock, we've actually been using this tool over the last number of weeks, and we would go on here and look at different color combinations. And even for us, we're so used to looking at our guitars. It's been a fantastic tool to just be able to see a visual representation. You're talking about, wonder what those tuners will look like with that hardware, or with that top and that back and sides. And so it really, really, really does work well.
Yeah. So if you're a guitar lover, you're going to really love playing around with this, because you can totally spec your guitar out from start to finish, from the shell almost right through to the tuners and the color and the inlays. And I can go back, I can start again, I can play around with it, I can spin it, I can have a think about it, and get back in there and build another one. It's great,
and then at the end, you can add a strap. And rather than just having text that says I'd like the strap, no, this on the 3D builder will put the strap on the guitar. And
there you go.
You can choose between. I'm going to go with a black strap, because I've got the black carbon back and sides, so I think it makes sense to me. And I always say the Royal Ebony with the black lines that come through it just works really, really nicely with the blacks. You see there, if you zoom in close, you get a really good idea of the contrasts.
I've gone with amber back and sides and some gold, so I have chosen a brown strap, because I've got a zircotti finish on the front also.
So,
okay,
I've built a rather expensive guitar here. That's a special instrument, and and there's been a few comments about emeralds have got very expensive all of a sudden. Actually, you know what? They haven't. You just have a whole lot more options. So if you take the base price of our guitars, really it hasn't changed much at all in the last 15 or 20 years. Okay. What we've started to do is we've just looked at ways that we can add extra things in there. So over the past year, we've added extra things as standard, like the pinless bridge and various things that were upcharges before. So our prices actually haven't changed at all. It's just we've given you an awful lot more things to engage with, and if you want to add them on, you can buy them. You are absolutely under no obligation to do so.
I love the way that even when I zoom under the guitar, I can see the battery box there, the battery section, the input for the GK output, and the output for the jack as well too, as well as the strap buttons. It's so there's so much detail even under the guitar.
Yeah. I think that was one of the last things that we kind of worked out, because we had forgot to include the positions on the for the jacks, and then we started to realize just how important that is. It's what we've been trying to do, I guess, Mark, is answer an awful lot of the questions that people bring on a daily basis to our sales team. And sometimes it's really hard to just always continually answer that just with text, and the best way is to be able to see it visually. So so if you look at that, like I'm looking at the Kestrel here with the full level 3, and if you can see, it's kind of hard to see just fully underneath, but you definitely can see exactly where the battery box goes and where the 13-pin connection goes, and where the other jack goes. So it's all the information really is there on the guitar, as if you were holding it in your hands.
So this is also, this is not just a tool to help me build the guitars. I can actually go forward and buy this guitar if I want to right now, can't I?
You can, but actually, do you know what I'm going to tell you about before we get as far as buying the guitar? Because I know recently what it's like to go into a builder, a 3D builder. I was buying a new car, and I was using their 3D builder tool, and I will say, it is nowhere near as good as this. And that's by one of the largest car companies out there. Uh-huh. And it was quite interesting, because we were designing the builder, and I was using their car builder at the same time. And it was just quite limited to just quite a two-dimensional version of the guitar. But I went back and forward, and I was taking photographs of the screen with my phone. And I realized, well, it's really useful to be able to capture the image, and I would use it as a way to refer back and forward to different configurations. Mm-hmm. And I would share, send it to Kim and see what Kim thought, and she didn't like it, and then would send it back. And I actually posted some pictures that I had done on that builder on a forum to ask people's opinion of what interior you should get in the car, and so that really actually sparked my mind of what we needed to have on our builder. So we wanted a really good sharing tool. So if you click on the sharing icon, it brings you into a page where you can actually share the guitar. So you can create a GIF, or you can create a JPEG. And this is really cool, because you can move the guitar to various different angles, and you just click Save JPEG, and it's going to just take a photograph. It's going to save it down into your computer. And that's a really cool feature.
Cool.
You can save a GIF, so let's just line it up. It's a little bit hard with the touchpad just to get exactly to the point. I'm going to go back to the configurator actually,
so
get the right position, and then go back into it.
So I can take that JPEG then, and I can share it around. Look at that. There you go. No problem.
So you're sharing a JPEG, and I'm saving a GIF. So the GIF is just going to give you a 3D full rotation of the guitar, mm-hmm. and a 360. And what's cool with that, then you can share it on Facebook, or you can share it in whatever, and or you can send it to your partner, send it to your friend. If you've got a partner that
allows you to buy guitars.
Allows you to buy guitars. We talked about this morning. The number of people that are maybe, sneaking off into the other room to have a go on the Emerald Builder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the GIF is actually, it's a really cool feature.
Yeah, it looks great too.
You can take that and save multiple versions of the guitars that you're interested in, and then you can compare easily and back and forward from one to the other. And so that's something that I've done recently with the car, and in that process, just being able to save multiple versions of the car that I was wanting to buy, and in the same way you can do this with the car or with the guitar. So it's definitely something that's going to be very usable. And I've been seeing different GIFs and JPEGs that have been saved off the builder being shared on Facebook, and that's nice to see, because everybody's got a different idea. And I'm not quite sure where Justin was going last night with the one that I saw. His what was the watermelon split, I think he called it. But everybody's got a different eye, so that's
a big shout out to Justin. I know he's moved country recently, so maybe the move had its effect on him or something.
He's still suffering in jet lag.
It could be. We'll put it down to jet lag. Is that all right, Justin?
But hey, if you want to order it, you certainly send us the order through.
Yeah.
So you create your GIF there, and so that's a cool feature.
Cool.
But yeah, if you want to then go ahead and check out, or use this as a tool for a conversation starter with Kevin Davey.
Yeah.
And if you go in, you can go and review an order, and you have a choice there to proceed to checkout, where you can pay a deposit, which it'll take you into to pay a 50% deposit on the guitar. You can then connect with our design consultant, and that'll send the information of the guitar that you're looking at right through to our team.
Yeah, and that's why I guess having the serial number of that veneer is also really important at that time.
Yeah,
So
actually, thanks for reminding me on that. Yeah, so if you were going into the checkout and you wanted a specific piece of veneer, you can just tell the guys on that serial number. You just put that into the text box in the checkout.
Yeah, and they can book that. They can book that out and hold it for you for obviously a certain period of time, and hopefully, you get the perfect guitar at the end of it.
Oh, not hopefully, you will get the perfect guitar.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's the whole process.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, it's just so exciting to have it. We've looked around, and we've looked at a lot of different builders on various different platforms for cars and all kinds of different components. And I haven't found one that works as good as this, and I'm just so thrilled with the guys that helped us build it. There's been a team really of 5 or 6 people that have been working on this, between our own staff and some outside help that's been working on it, and they just have absolutely knocked it out of the park. So definitely I'm keen to hear your feedback. If there's anything in it that you find isn't fully up to speed or could be better, we're always looking at suggestions. We are going to make some tweaks. There's going to be a Builder 2.0 coming out very soon, because we still have more models to add in and a few little things. I think we're going to add in a link sharing option there in the Share Your Guitar tab, where you can be able to just save a link. Well, you can go up just to the top, and you can just copy the link at the top of your browser, and you can share that, and that will open up the exact same guitar again.
Okay.
But we're going to try and put that into a proper link sharing option there, and so little tweaks.
Yeah.
Everything can always be slightly better.
Yeah, it's really, really useful, and you can really visualize what your from start to finish, what your guitar is going to look like, and you can really customize it to your own options. Really great tool. I love the way it spins around inside the cottage as well, because being our home of live music around here, it's the guitar certainly placed in the right position there.
What I'm going to do, Mark, I'm going to send you the GIF.
And I'll do the same. Let us know what your feedback is. Have fun designing and building guitars, because it's a really fun tool. If you have any questions at all, send them into Kev or Davey. They can help you out along the way. And sales@emeraldguitars.com.
All right, Mark. So I've got your JPEG, and you should have my GIF.
Fantastic. Yeah. Wow. That's a impressive looking Kestrel. Totally specced out to the max.
So you've gone for a Zircotti X10
Yes.
with the gold hardware.
Uh-huh.
The level 3 pickup system here has got the Crevo and the fully adjustable and intonatable bridge,
Uh-huh.
and you've got the Celtic knots in gold. So that's really cool. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful. And amber back and sides. Is that the I can't see in the.
It is vibrant.
This, but it's the vibrant weave.
It is a vibrant weave, yeah. I just love the way the edges form on the vibrant weave.
Actually, that bright vibrant weave will look really, really nice with the gold center on that Zircotti. So yeah, that's going to be a real standout instrument.
That's a gorgeous one too. And I've received the Kestrel here, fully spec'd, Alistair. Uh-huh. Oh yes. Royal Ebony really does, with those black lines. Yeah, you're totally right. It really hits the sweet spot there. And that is a gorgeous guitar. Look at those inlays. Look at those inlays. Wow.
It does just totally stand out. And that's the great thing about it. It's that opportunity to go in there, go into the Emerald Cottage, choose from all our range of guitars, choose from all our different features, and make something that's entirely unique. I was trying to work out at the start what the number of possible combinations that can go in there is, and I need to go and do the math again, but I think it's over 1 million.
Wow.
It was so actually there's a good question. Get somebody to go into our builder and actually do computation on the possible number of combinations and different guitars could be created on the Emerald 3D builder. Yeah. It's not a competition because I don't know. I'm just asking for the question. Yeah. I just want the answer.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Play around. Tell us how many combinations. We think it's 1 million plus.
There's a lot of different options, and we still have things to add in there, so that number is going to keep rising. But when you do all those different combinations, it gives you so many different options.
Yeah.
So that's the Emerald 3D builder, and that's going to be a really big center point for a lot of the things that we're going to be doing over the next year. We're going to refer back to that quite a lot. You're going to hear us talking about the builder. You're going to hear us talking about in the shipping videos, people that have designed stuff on the builder, and that's going to be really cool actually to see maybe the GIF of what somebody has created initially on the builder, and then what the actual finished guitar looks like.
Yeah.
So that's going to be. I suppose we're going to be seeing that in the coming weeks as part of the journey. So we'll take you along on that.
Yeah, we'll be sharing that with you folks so you can get an idea just how these dreams can come to reality.
Yeah, from virtual to reality.
From virtual to reality,
no doubt we'll bring some of the real guitars down there into the cottage, and you'll be seeing them played in there. So so that's it.
Brilliant. That's really exciting. Well, really, really exciting to have a 3D builder. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
And I can't believe it's ours. It really is. It's quite a dream.
Great.
So that's it. So you may have seen these little things sitting on my desk here and wondering what the heck that is. So I have to give a shout out to Carol Kenfield, and Carol sent us a box of these little birds that she made, and they're all made from, it's like little pieces of ribbon that are all woven together, and they're just the coolest thing. So she sent one for everybody in the Emerald team, and I just love that somebody took the time to make those and then to send them all the way across the Atlantic to us, and each one of them is unique and different, kind of like each unique emerald. So a few nice emerald green ones in there. So
that's a lovely thought. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. Nice. And these are going to be dotted around on the top of various people's screens and little mascots in various places around the Emerald Factory. So you've now got you've put your fingerprint on our factory. So thanks for that.
Cheers. Thank you, Carol.
We really, really appreciate it.
Right, so Alistair, that's a wrap for podcast number 9, I believe. 8.
I'm not counting. So. So that's been fun, and we just wanted to do that, and we just wanted to really take you through the builder today. So that's our big news. we have a lot of other things coming through in the coming weeks. You've heard us talking about the Weisenborn. It's not officially been launched. We haven't officially given it a name yet. We haven't released that. We've used it, but we haven't. So it's no secret. Everybody knows about it, but it's not officially there. It's going to be on our builder very soon.
Yeah.
So within probably the next month, that's going to see release. We've got a lot of other things to talk about.
We do. Yeah. So folks, don't go away. Don't be a stranger. Head on over to YouTube. Subscribe over there. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on our Facebook, and follow us all over. And if you really want to as well, you get a lot more information. Subscribe to our newsletter on our website. And we send out a newsletter from time to time, letting us know what's going on, a lot of reminders of things that are happening around here. So, head up the socials and join the newsletter.
All right. See you next time.
Take care, guys. Thanks.